This page, I've created a general outline about the parts to consider whenever you're writing up your compare and contrast essay. You begin by introducing your topic through an introduction paragraph, and within the introduction paragraph you want to make sure you include a hook. You want to provide some sort of context, background information, or maybe explain the problem, and then conclude your introduction paragraph with a thesis statement. Now the hook, you have different options. You can include a famous quote. You can begin by hooking the audience by posing a question, and you can also choose to maybe introduce a very interesting or important fact or statistic. Now with the fact or statistic here, you want to include a citation along with a reference at the end of your essay so that the reader knows where you got the fact. And in the case of the famous quote, you can include a hyphen and then the famous person's complete name, first and last name. Once you've created the introduction paragraph, you're going to end with a thesis statement, which is the main idea of your entire essay. Make sure then that you look at the topic sentences of each body paragraph to make sure that they provide evidence or more details that relate directly and explicitly to your thesis statement. Here I've included a link to the meal plan, which I think is useful. Check out this link and look at the different types of sentences that you will need to consider whenever you're developing your paragraph. Remember also from week 1 and week 2 we talked a lot about linking ideas from one sentence to the next using rhyme and theme, so we can use rhyme and theme to make sure that we're writing cohesively. We also talked about thinking about different question words that we can ask ourselves as we develop our one idea of the paragraph. Remember that a paragraph is developing a single idea that's reflected in the topic sentence. So again, make sure that your ideas or your supporting sentences support the one idea. And I think in this particular type of essay, the compare and contrast essay, most of you have chosen to do it point by point, so make sure that you introduce each of those points in each of the paragraphs. And if you're doing a block method, you can make sure that you're describing all of the similarities, for example, in one paragraph, the differences in another paragraph, and so on. Now the final paragraph, the conclusion paragraph, is going to include 3 things. You're going to begin by restating and rewording the thesis statement. Again, the thesis statement that comes from the introduction paragraph, followed by a description of the significance or the relevance or the big picture of your main points within your essay. And then the very last sentence will be your closing statement. So consider this whenever you're developing your compare and contrast essay, and I look forward to seeing your work.